This is the Reverend Judy Rigby from Airport West Uniting Church. What follows is a memorial to Eunice Clark, who died just short of her 97th birthday during the lockdown of 2021. As a result, her funeral service was a very quiet affair, and many people who loved her and would have longed to have been there were not able to attend. Eunice herself had left explicit instructions that she wanted a big funeral service complete with bagpipes. And of course, none of what she wanted happened. What follows is a eulogy that was prepared by Eunice's granddaughter Sally, but not delivered on the day because Sally was unexpectedly unable to be there. We've been corresponding for some time now about finding a space in our worship service where she could deliver this eulogy in front of friends of her Nan. And so we are delighted that that took place on Sunday, the 19th of December. And we shared together Sally's memories, our memories, and we met some of Eunice's family and friends. And so I introduce you to Sally Westwood, her daughter Harper, and her friend Sandra.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sally and I'm Eunice Clark's eldest granddaughter. Thank you for having my family, my best friends and myself here this morning. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend my nan's funeral due to having COVID at the time. I'm here today to share with you all what I wanted to say at her funeral, as it has been a very difficult time, and I'm hoping this will give me some closure. Writing this letter has come far too early than I ever expected. Even though Nan was in her 90s, we all thought she would live to 100 years old and receive her letter from the Queen that she always talked about. The day I got the call to say Nan had a stroke, my world started to fall apart, knowing she was never going to come home and life was never going to be the same for her. If I could have helped her in any way, I would have. Nan was unhappy at the nursing home, and that broke my heart. I think Nan was very brave and never really complained when we would visit her. I really thought Nan would be in her own home until the end of her days. My kids and I love to visit Nan weekly. To see the smile on her face when she saw Harper and Hudson was priceless. It truly made her day better, and of course, she introduced the kids to every person that would walk past her room. I think the entire ground floor knew about Eunice Clark's great-grandchildren. Hudson would eat all of Nan's chocolates, and Harper would take Nan for walks in her wheelchair up and down the hall, and every time I got into trouble for it. But of course, Nan and I didn't care because she loved every minute of it. They would have great conversations together, including the time when Harper was making plans on how she was going to sneak Nan out of the nursing home. Saying goodbye to Nan was extremely difficult. I was glad that I was able to bring the kids to see Nan for one last time. Even though she was asleep, I talked to her, played video footage of Nan with the kids, played the Carlton footy song, hoping she could hear it all. As a child, I always remember wanting to play in Nan's bedroom with a huge collection of shoes and accessories on her dressing table. I still remember Nan loved to watch the wrestling on the TV and was always yelling at the radio at her favourite Blue Boys when they missed a goal. To me, Nan was brave, strong, fiercely independent, had a strong sense of style. She loved her blue eyeshadow and pink lipstick. Footy, theatre, shopping, fashion, knitting, travelling overseas and attending the tennis yearly. Nan was just not my Nan, she was Nan to everyone. When introducing her, she would say, "My name is Mrs. Clark, or you can call me Nan." I remember Nan always telling my client she had a great childhood, talking about her fond memories as a child, even though it was back in the wartime, giving up business college to take care of her youngest brother after Nan's mother passed away at the age of 50 was selfless, and I never heard her complain about it once. Nan never said no to going anywhere with the kids and I. She always seemed to have so much energy in her 90s. She had a great social life with her involvements in the church, the RSL Club Provis, having munchins, and in the early years, lawn bowls. I often would tell my friends that my Nan was busier than the Prime Minister. To organise anything, I would call her and say, Nan, can you get your diary and see if you're available on that date? People always wanted to know what her secret was to looking so great at her age. She would tell them eating 5 vegetables a night was it. I can only hope I'm as healthy as her at her age to have the infectious energy she had for life for my kids as they grow up. My friends and clients loved to see my Nan, and we know she loved to chat, especially showing anyone that would look at her photos of the kids on her phone. I still remember the day when Nan had to buy a new phone with the camera on it just so she could show all her friends pictures of all her great-grandchildren anywhere she went. Harper and Hudson were very fortunate to have had Nan as their great-grandmother and for her to have been a part of their lives as well, especially Hudson spending 1 day a week with Nan for a good year. I can't believe he would sleep 3 hours for her and not for me. It was as though he knew he was with his great Nan and he did everything right. When picking up Hudson at Nan's, I would ask him, how was your day? His first response was, Nana, give me icy pole and cake. Nan would stand there and say, don't give away all our secrets, and the two of them would just laugh. I know he gave her so much joy each week having him. My Nan will always be a part of our conversations in the years to come, and I'll make sure her memory will be with my kids forever. Last night Hudson was laying in bed. After saying goodnight to me, he said out loud, good night, little Nana. It just shows Nan is on his mind and he misses her. I'll miss not being able to call into Nan's place anytime to say hi with the kids or to have fish and chips with her on a Friday night. I will miss having a glass of Moscato together, going to the theatre and taking her shopping. I was extremely proud to call her my Nan, and I loved introducing her to everyone. Nan would talk to anyone and she always left an unforgettable impression on anyone she had ever met. I cannot put into words on how much I'm going to miss her. I was so blessed to have had her as my Nan. Her unconditional love for my children was eternal. Nan has left a huge hole in our hearts, and my promise to Nan is that she'll be never forgotten. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Harper and I'm going to read to you my piece about my Nan. She was kind and caring to others and to me. I love the smile on her face. She always brought joy wherever she went. Nan loved her great-grandchildren very much, and I feel happy that she was my great Nan. I love my Nan.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks very much for having us here today. Unfortunately, we couldn't do this during COVID, and that's why we're here today. And without you letting us be here, we want to give our goodbyes properly to Nan. We're here to celebrate the life of our wonderful little friend Nan, Little Nan, as I've always called her. I was introduced to her over 30 years ago through Sally when she was working at Stylistic at the hairdressers there, and every time that I'd go in, little Nan would say, that's my granddaughter over there. She was so proud of her, and she always was so close to Sally. I've got a lot of things to say here that Sally's already said, so don't get bored. Sally was an apprentice and Nan was very proud. Nan was such a wonderful lady. She's so full of life, well-groomed. She was always happy. She loved her blue boys. There weren't any other teams in the league, you know. You couldn't say a word about any of them. She also loved to travel, mainly on her own. I asked her one day, aren't you scared of travelling on your own at your age? She said, why would I be scared? She laughed. What would anyone want with me? And I said, oh, well, you know, you're a bit scary, isn't it? And she said, no, you're only here for a short time, love. You may as well enjoy it. That was our Nan. I never called her Eunice. It was always little Nan to me. She loved her bowls. She loved coming here to church. She always said she met so many lovely people, and it also got her out of the house. Family was so important to her. Believe me, I know more about her family than anyone here, including the family. Nan was so very proud lady. She'd always tell me her ups and her downs, the grandkids, the great-grandkids. She had plenty to talk about. And at the end of our chat, she'd give me a wink first, and she'd say, don't tell anybody, will you? But it's always good to get things off your chest. For many years, everything it was about Michael, Rachel, Kim, Sally. Boy, there were plenty of stories there. But then Harper and Hudson arrived. Well, there was just no other conversations. They were the only kids in the world. Nan truly loved them. She loved to look after the kids, mainly on a Saturday so Sally could work. And she had Hudson, of course, for once a week. And she said to me one day, when I was getting my hair done, I'm a bit worried. She said, not long before we... Oh, hang on, I've jumped a couple here. You know, I was told not to look after the kids anymore. I said, why? And she said, they think I'm getting too old. I said, well, you've still got your marbles. And she said, of course I have, haven't I? I'm all right. She said, Sally would know if I couldn't look after those kids. I wouldn't do that to them. She said, I love him, and Hudson's mine, all mine, and no one's getting him. And that was her all the time. She loved reading stories to the kids, sitting on the floor, playing with Harper and her dolls. And I used to say, Nana, you're just like a big kid. She said, I love it. And Hudson was the apple of her eye. He'd make her toast and a cup of coffee and a cup of tea, actually, and eggs on toast on a little plastic plate on a Saturday morning. Not long before she started to get sick, that was when she was telling me she was upset. And why wouldn't she want to look after the kids? She was perfectly capable. She said, life's so short, you've got to just enjoy every day of it. And she did, believe me. Oh, where am I? I'm lost, everybody. Don't worry about it. Nan was just such a wonderful lady, and I'm sure you all had plenty of good times with her here. And she was just become a part of my life. Unfortunately, I've always considered myself as part of her family, not just a friend. And that's what Nan was always like. And thanks once again for letting us just have a few words here today. On behalf of the family and myself, it was really very nice to have us here today. Thank you, everybody.